So we're at the International Festival of Journalism here in Perugia today with Emmott, who is the narrator of this film, Girlfriend in a Coma, which talks about the decline of Italy and how maybe Italians could wake up from the coma. Bill, in your documentary, one of the striking things was that you showed a lot of young Italians in London and around other places in Europe have left Italy, they've moved abroad. Do you think that the diaspora, the young Italians abroad, can somehow make a difference for their country, even being out overseas?
Well, I think that in Italian history, always, or very often, the diaspora has been very influential. Of course, most classically with the Risorgimento, Giuseppe Mazzini, Garibaldi, and Nunzio, and so on. Setting a kind of intellectual climate, but also organizing together with each other, and of course in connection with groups inside Italy, to try to put pressure for change. Now, today, the opportunities are greater because the connections between Italians abroad in the diaspora and their friends and family and colleagues and equivalents from university in Italy are much stronger and much easier through social media, through the internet and so on. So I think that one should think of Italians abroad as a great resource, but also as a resource that is connected to Italy in a way that the Italians abroad in the 20th century or the 19th century had found it much harder. So now the responsibility is yours.
And so, I mean, that's the very kind words, and we hope that we can be a resource. Looking at youth unemployment now is at record highs across Europe. In Spain it's at 57%, in Greece it's over 50%, in Italy it's at 37%, which is too high. I think in the UK it's slightly lower, but even in the UK, your country, there are I think 1 million young unemployed people. In terms of youth policies, you know, do you think, I mean, from your experience in the UK, as an economist yourself, as a journalist, what kind of youth policies do you think a government like Italy should enact to try and make a difference?
Well, I think that the first thing I would say is that the big policy for the young is the same as the right policy for the old, which is to heal the economy, to liberate the economy, to generate growth in the economy, which means, I think, also stopping the obsession across the whole of Europe with austerity, fiscal austerity, which to me is a mistake, at least when it's universal, it's a mistake. But also, I think, obstacles to meritocracy, to opportunity, to initiative, to creation of new realities, startups of all kinds, need to be removed. And that will, of course, especially help the young. Second policy, based on experience of other countries, is that governments can and should make some extra effort to help the young people find jobs. They can't create jobs for young people, but they can actively improve information, improve training about how to find a job, improve the kind of starting skills that young people need very often to enter the workforce. Because the problem of the youth unemployment is especially a problem of people who have never worked in a formal or professional a full setting, and so therefore lack some of the skills to enter that form of work. And so I think that government policies should be focused on that.
And do you think there's a role for the EU? As you probably know, the EU has quite a large youth budget, and you think it's time that, for example, the European Union should try and intervene more in youth education policy in member states, or do you think that should still be a separate issue?
I think that primarily these issues have to be national issues, national policies, based on national conditions and obviously national political circumstances. I think that what the EU can do is to share best practice and to provide good information about what has worked in different countries. Because of course Scandinavia is #1 success in terms of dealing with the issue of youth unemployment and dealing with the issue of modernizing a labor market without creating precariousness and insecurity across the people. Second, of course, Germany has a big success in this field. Britain has had some success in the past, but now, of course, we have economic difficulty just like other European countries, and so we too have, as you say, a problem with youth unemployment. I think the EU should be sharing best practices. Its budget is not big enough to make a difference. Its power over this issue is not big enough to dominate national politics. Just share best practice.
And maybe perhaps a final question. If you were a young Italian today, living in Italy, would you stay or would you go?
Depends very much what my skills were and what my industry was. I think if I was a young Italian, well, of course, first I would always want to experience the world. I think it's a wonderful thing to go and live abroad. When I was graduating as an English person too many years ago to mention, I first went to Brussels. My first job, in fact, was in Brussels. Then 2 years later I went to Tokyo. I had 3 years in Tokyo and then back to London. So I think first of all, it's a very natural, very important experience. Second, I think that I would be probably trying to start my own company if I was a young Italian. Because I think that the system facing many professions is so blocked, so lacking in meritocracy, so blocked by problems of nepotism and excessive deference to old people who block the jobs. I would probably want to try to start my own new reality, my own new company, to go around that system. But it's easier to say than to do.
We hope young Italians will be able to start their own companies and
Yeah, exactly.
change it to Europe.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay. Yeah.